Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon or good night. My time here is night actually, late night. Okay. Anyway, excuse me. Let me share my screen. Right. Okay. All right. Okay. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me for this session. And the topic that has been given to me is Ramadan and sleep disorders, navigating sleep challenges during the blessed month. All right. Okay. As we know, sorry. So how? Okay, next. Okay, now. I hope to try and cover this short discussion or lecture. First we look at Ramadan, which is outline, right? And then what is the characteristics of Ramadan fasting? And then we look at the some discussion on sleep and Islamic tradition. And then we look at Ramadan fasting and sleep. And then looking at sleep problems during Ramadan. We also go through some sleep research in Ramadan. And then disruption of sleep during fasting and ways to treat sleep disorders and insomnia after Ramadan. I can't control. In Al-Baqarah, the verse 185 is the verse that injuncts us or where fasting is being prescribed to us. Up to the end. The month of Ramadan is the one in which Quran was revealed as a guidance for mankind and as clear signs that show the right way and distinguished between right and wrong. So those of you who witness the month must fast in it, but the one who is sick or is on a journey should fast as much as from other days as he missed. Allah intends to provide ease for you and does not intend to create hardship for you. All this is so that you may complete the number of fasts described and proclaim takbir. Okay, so proclaim the takbir of Allah for having guided you and so that you may be grateful. Okay, now, so this is the verse that, make it compulsory for us to do, to fast in the month of Ramadan. So there's something, what you call unique characteristics about Ramadan fasting. Because every day of the Ramadan, Muslims abstain from food, drink, and smoking between dawn and dusk. And then the sleep and wake patterns during Ramadan could be affected because, we have to wake up for suhoor, and then so the sleep could be what you call affected. Okay, Ramadan follows the lunar system. So as a result, what happened is that it occurs 11 days earlier every year. So and it occurs a different season every 9 years. So that means it's different, because like, for countries who have seasons, it will be different. After 9 years, there will be a different season. So that means sometimes you will have time where you fast during summer, for example, longer hours in summer than in winter. See? So and so that definitely it may affect sleep pattern, because shorter nights and earlier dawn. And then you have the climate is what you call the climate may affect the sleep patterns. Hot summer, and many resort to napping in the midday. So it may also influence the night sleep, because if you tend to take naps in the midday, then it may affect your night sleep. And the also geographical location of where you are may also affect the duration of the fast. Okay, there are other features. There's sudden change in eating patterns, because you have calorie intake at night increases for that whole month, because the generally you see some of our those who fast, after breaking the fast, they will increase their food intake during the night time. So, and then changes in day and night activity pattern also, there's a changes also there, because you rising up for pre-dawn meal, suhoor, and then the prayer, also some lifestyle habits, because if you see in some of the Muslim countries, maybe in the Middle East, they will be opening stores and shopping till late at night, because the daytime they are fasting. So this also activity patterns also change. And then in the Islamic countries, many associate fasting with increased daytime sleepiness. The tendency for them, like, they think that, this is fasting. So the tendency for sleepiness is occur in the daytime. And then it could also decrease some performance in daily activities. And when you look at sleep and Islamic tradition, Islam actually considers sleep to be one of the signs of the greatness of Allah. Interestingly, Islam emphasizes the importance of paying attention to your sleep, even when praying, because there is a hadith that says that if you're sleepy, then you go and sleep first, and then you pray when you are more fresh. So in the Quran, sleep implies a manifestation of weakness and bodily need for rest. Therefore, while the Creator, Allah, does not sleep or doze off, His creations, including mankind, need sleep every day. If you look in this Ayatul Kursi, you will notice that Allah says that Allah doesn't need the sleep, whereas we need that. So sleep is also at night. In this, there's one ayah that says that they used to sleep little by night, and in the hours before dawn, they used to pray for forgiveness. That means sleep is at night generally, and then sleep is for rest, and make your sleep a source of rest. So sleep is important in Islamic tradition. And then if we look at some of the hadith regarding sleep, there's one hadith in Sahih Bukhari that says, if any one of you feels drowsy while praying, he should, go to bed, sleep till his slumber is over. This is what I was mentioned earlier just now. That means if you feel drowsy, you shouldn't be praying if you are drowsy, sleepy, and all that, because you don't know what you're saying in the prayer. And the Prophet Muhammad SAW encouraged his companions to avoid any activity after the Isha prayers, because this is during the night prayer, which is about 1.5 to 2 hours after sunset. So the Prophet said one should not sleep before the night prayer, nor have discussions after it. That means after the night prayer, one should get ready for sleep, because the Sahaba and all that, they normally wake up for tahajjud prayers. So that's why it needs important to sleep early. So additionally, Muslims are required to wake up for Fajr prayer, which is about 1 hour before sunrise. And the Prophet did not sleep after the Fajr prayer. So although being called to wake up for the Fajr prayer might appear to disrupt sleep, this could be offset by a short midday nap, which is also called Qailullah in Islamic culture, because it is recommended that we take what you call midday nap. Okay. All right. These naps are embedded practice within the Muslim culture and have a religious dimension for some Muslims. The Prophet also said, take a short nap, for devils do not take naps. This is Al-Albani. And there's another hadith that details the correct timing of the nap and suggests sleeping early in the day betrays ignorance, in the middle of the day is right, and at the end of the day is stupid. So that means middle of the day is right, between Zohar and Asar. That is the time normally short naps. A third hadith reported in Sahih Bukhari says, we used to offer the Jummah Friday prayer with the Prophet and then take the afternoon nap. That means after the Jummah prayer, Friday prayer, the Sahaba will, take a short nap. Okay, now, when we look at, okay, now. A special form of intermittent fasting, when you look at Ramadan fasting, is practiced by, almost 1.9 billion of Muslims worldwide during the holy month of Ramadan. Yeah. And Muslims fast for about 29 to 30 days, depending on the month, and each day, starting with a meal at dawn, which is suhoor, and breaking the fast at sunset, and between dawn and the dusk, Muslims refrain from eating, drinking water, or smoking, or even having sexual relationship in their, wife. This religious obligation is taken very seriously by the vast majority of Muslims and has been practiced for over 1,400 years, as it is ordained in the Quran. And in fact, it was also, practiced by, people before Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Their fasting has been prescribed for those before. And it is stated elsewhere in the Quran, and eat and drink at night until you can discern and the white streak of dawn against the blackness of the night. Then complete your fasting until night sets in. Okay, now, when we look at sleep problems during Ramadan, because usually you have the whole month you're fasting, that means you are breaking your sleep cycle. So what are actually sleep disorders? Sleep disorders are actually conditions that affect the quality, amount, and timing of sleep you're able to get at night. So common sleep disorders include insomnia, restless leg syndrome, narcolepsy, and sleep apnea. Sleep disorders can also affect your mental health and physical health.
because after the month of Ramadan, you know, when you go back to the whole system whereby you don't need to wake up for fasting, then it's already different already. There are a number of the major category of sleep disorders. You have chronic insomnia. Chronic insomnia is where you have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep most nights for at least 3 months and feel tired or irritable as a result. Or this obstructive sleep apnea. Some people who snore and have moments during sleep where you stop breathing that disrupt your sleep. And there's also another thing where we call it restless leg syndrome. You have the urge to move your legs when you rest. Or there's another one which is narcolepsy. You can't regulate when you fall asleep or how long you stay awake. So there is also 3 more. Shift work sleep disorder. This one is because you have trouble falling asleep and staying asleep and feel sleepiness and unwanted times due to your work schedule. So we have what we call some of these workers who have shift work and they work at night, for example, so they sleep daytime and then after a certain time they change the shift. So they may have some of these difficulties. And then delayed sleep phase syndrome. You fall asleep at least 2 hours after your desired bedtime and having difficulty waking up in time for school or work. And REM, sleep behavior disorder. In this problem, you act out your dreams while in the rapid eye movement stage of sleep. However, we try to figure out whether, there's a number of research that has been done by some researchers to see whether sleep disorders occur or not in Ramadan. There's one study by this Bahamam. He has the objective is actually to assess the effect of Ramadan in Muslims and non-Muslims. So the Muslims and non-Muslims were matched by age and body mass index. The Muslims' work has been delayed for Muslims, from 7:30 a.m. to 10. There was no change in working hours for non-Muslims because in some countries, some jobs, because of Muslim fasting month, the work, they shift the time of the work, they delayed it. And they were actually, when they look at the baseline and also the R1 and R2 and were compared in Muslim, there was a significant delay in bedtime and rise time and a significant reduction in total sleep time. However, no changes were documented in sleep pattern in non-Muslims, because they don't fast, isn't it? So, and no changes in daytime sleepiness were documented in both groups because they look at daytime sleepiness, there was no changes. So they conclude that changes in sleep pattern in Muslim could be related to changes in lifestyle, like the changes in working hours. And there is no objective evidence of increased sleepiness during fasting. We go to the next research. This is the effect of sleep interruption around Ramadan on cognitive function. This group studied 18 to 25-year-old university students, and they because Ramadan involves sleep interruption, which would affect the cognition and consequently have a negative effect on students during revision time and examination. So, the study investigated and the effect of sleep interruption on cognitive performance in students during Ramadan, and they compare to the normal sleep patterns. So, for the student who had 7 to 8 hours total sleep, following sleep interruption during Ramadan, which is at dawn, after 30 to 90 minutes, participants perform a stroke test twice within an hour of awakening to assess processing speed and attention. This Stroop test is actually a psychological test whereby you look at what you call the words. You read the words. The words actually have colors in the word, but the colors is different than the it's like because you have to say the colors of the letters, but then the letters are written in the name of the color, which is so that whenever you it's like conflicting, you know, like I can show you one example of the Stroop test. For example, this is wonder whether you can see this or not. Not very clear. Actually, it's like the letters are printed in a different color. For example, red. The word is red, but then the letters are in blue. So that means what happened is that when you're doing this test, you have to sort of like think. That means use your cognition. And because it's a standardized test, so we can compare between the subjects. So anyway, so the same test was performed after Ramadan with a maximum sleep interruption of 5 minutes. Participants' time differences between congruent and incongruent tasks plus percentage of accuracy were compared between sleep interruption and normal sleep for each participant. And the study actually recruited 70 students, but 40 were excluded following an eligibility survey, and then 34 completed the study. Stroop times were significantly slower during Ramadan compared to minimal sleep interruption. There was no significant difference in mean percentage accuracy between and during and after Ramadan. So actually, it doesn't show any significant difference. So what do you call? Okay, now continue on. There's another study when they look at bedtime and the time of rising were delayed in Muslims during Ramadan. There was no objective evidence for increased sleepiness during fasting. That means it doesn't. There's no significant difference. There's no evidence actually. Although some people may say that they are feel sleepy and all that. So the modest sleep restriction inherent in observing Ramadan may impact daytime sleepiness and your ability to function efficiently. So the number of students who reported falling asleep in class increased from 15% at baseline to 36% during the first week of Ramadan. But as time goes on, it changes. So they have some conflicting results regarding sleeping duration during Ramadan. In a sample of students in Morocco, nighttime sleep duration was reported to drop significantly during Ramadan, which is quite logical because in Ramadan at night they spend less time sleeping. Studies have also demonstrated several modifications in sleep patterns during Ramadan, including sudden and significant delays in bedtime and wake-up time. However, conflicting results have been reported regarding total sleep time. So, a similar reduction was also found in students in the United Arab Emirates, but this reduction was offset by an increase in the duration of nap times, daytime naps. So when subjective alertness was assessed during Ramadan, decreases in alertness were observed at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., whereas an increase was observed at 11 p.m. So, not a recipe for winding down before sleep. So conflicting results have been reported in relation to the time it takes to fall asleep and total sleep time during Ramadan. Although one study reported a significant drop in sleep latency at the end of Ramadan and no change in total sleep time, the second study reported a significant increase in sleep latency and a significant reduction in total sleep time. So the discrepancy between these results may be due to the effects of food on sleep. As in one study, the difference between dinner time and bedtime was 1 hour. So dinner was served at 10:30 and then sleep recording started at 11:30 p.m. In another study, the difference was 3 hours. So dinner was served at 9 p.m. and recorded. So there is, rather than effects on food and on the sleep. So with what all these studies point out to is that there's no general consensus on how or if fasting during Ramadan will affect your sleep. What it does show is that the changes in lifestyle and sleep during this month have the potential to interfere with sleep. So, what is your lifestyle during Ramadan? That is more important. So when you look at the disruption of sleep during fasting, those who fast during Ramadan usually eat 2 or 3 meals per day. Breakfast at sunset, breakfast lah, and then dinner after night prayer, and then a pre-dawn meal. So because eating is restricted until after sunset, a person's calorific intake increases at night. That means at night, the tendency to eat more, see? So eating close to bedtime means that the body is busy digesting food. And when you go to bed, and this can result in disturbed sleep, because normally if after you take your dinner or nighttime food and then you go to sleep, so there's still a lot of activity going on, digesting the food. So so sleep is a problem, and then the process of digesting food increases your body temperature. However, to get to sleep, your body temperature actually needs to drop slightly. So eating just before bedtime can be a recipe for poor sleep. So bedtime is also generally later as families and friends eat and socialize long into the night. Because during Ramadan, you normally have this kind of, at night time, see with families, friends and all that, socialize. So as a result, the delay in the bedtime, research also has found that more than 60% of fasting individuals who stayed awake after 11 p.m. did so because they were catching up with family and friends and watching TV. So this actually is the lifestyle in Ramadan, causing the problem in the sleep. So those same people tend to rise earlier and go to sleep much later. So needless to say, unfamiliar meal times and a confused body clock are a recipe for disrupted sleep. So this is actually what's going to happen. So now, if let's say you are, you have this difficulty, especially insomnia after Ramadan, so there are a number of ways that you can do. First thing is to set a time to go to bed. That means every day after the end of Ramadan, set a specific time to go to bed. Even if you can't sleep, you lie down and try not to think about anything. By going to bed and getting up at about the same time each day, you will program your body to sleep better. So that means you need to set a time to go to bed. Second thing, avoid naps. Do not take naps even if you feel tired, as napping during the day can make it more difficult to sleep at night. Although it's prescribed a short nap during the afternoon, that's fine. But sometimes you go for long time, so this is a problem. So save the nap for the evening at bedtime, and if you feel tired during the day, do some exercise to ward off the feeling of sleepiness. So so avoid this naps, because if you're having the problem with sleep. And then listen to Quran recitation. All right, listen to your favorite chapters of the Quran before you go to bed. You can also create a playlist of soothing melodies or rhythmic sound or whatever, so that to let you slow down your activity so that you can go to bed at night. And then, okay, fourth thing is stay away from the phone and computer before bedtime, because actually exposure to phone or computer or even television light at least 10 minutes before bedtime, turn off all these lights, for a peaceful night's sleep. So it's I guess some people, the tendency for them to always look at the handphone before sleep is not going to help. So okay, the next thing is actually avoid caffeine before bedtime. That means reduce your caffeine intake, especially in the evening after breakfast. Sometimes you break of what I mean is this is after Ramadan. After Ramadan, when you try not to take caffeine drinks in the evening, because caffeines take a very long time to be excreted from your body, and its effects can actually last up to 6 hours after consumption. So that means if you want to take coffee, drink it in the morning rather than evening. So you avoid, especially at bedtime. And then sports. There are some people who actually work out or do your exercises at night. So after Ramadan, try to work out in the morning and avoid doing vigorous exercise too close to the bedtime, as it may keep you awake. And then, okay, now get into the light immediately after waking up. So actually, in the morning, it's very important to expose yourself to bright light upon waking for at least an hour, because exposure to sunlight or light from inside the house in front of the window is possible, as light is the main determinant of the biological clock and thus helps to restore order in our bodies. So when you wake up, you try to expose to light, and then there are also what you call some electronic application to treat sleep disorders after Ramadan, because there are some mobile apps that help with falling asleep and getting rid of insomnia. Some apps actually encourage better sleep through sleep stories, played with voices of famous personalities to help people relax and dive into deep sleep each night. Other what you call apps analyze sleep cycles. Okay, and then keep your bed just a place to sleep. So because sometimes what people make mistakes is that they bring everything into the bedroom. See, you need to actually make your what you call sleep environment very comfortable. The bedroom is only for sleep related activities, so no laptop, no phone, before the bed, as this will help separate the purpose of sleep space in your mind. So and then okay, sleep on the left side to treat sleep disorders after Ramadan. Although actually we are asked to sleep on the right side, but then studies have shown that sleeping on the left side is the best way to sleep and is less hazardous to human health, as it allows the body to extract nutrients and eliminate toxins faster and more efficiently. Besides, sleeping on the left side improves the health of digestive system, the heart and blood vessels, and facilitate the pumping of the blood and in and out of the heart muscle. And then next thing is actually do not smoke, because smokers take longer to fall asleep, wake up more frequently, and have disruptive sleep patterns. Another thing is overeat. Don't overeat. Overeating, especially late at night, can disrupt your sleep pattern. So food can signal wakefulness in the brain and affect your ability to fall asleep. It is actually suggested maybe 3 to 4 hours. Don't have any food before sleep. So, and then you see, hold on to Salah. So night prayer is actually a remedy for many personal and societal problems. when you feel depressed, exhausted, lonely, or unproductive, make the best use of your time, pray and ask Allah to relieve your insomnia. And then after Ramadan, one is faced with an acute lack of sleep during the night, which leads to laziness, sleepiness, and mood swings during the day. The good news is that most cases of insomnia can be cured by simple lifestyle changes. So, because without the need for a doctor or sleeping pills, therefore it is important actually to follow the above suggestion to overcome post Ramadan insomnia if you have that. Okay, actually these are some of the references I will give to the organizers for you. I think that's it for tonight. Thank you very much.